Hey guys, it's me, Verilyn. It is 10:37 p.m. and just so you know, I rushed home to do this video blog just because I have so much to tell you. First off, what this vlog was supposed to be about was me decluttering my life. Today I went out, I did $20 worth of laundry. Yes, that's how much laundry I had, and that's a culmination of stuff I didn't do before I left for India, and then all the clothes I brought back from India. And I also, as you can see from my closet, I said I'll show you guys my closet today. I've organized my closet, organized my shoes, and you see that big bag right there? That's all the clothes that I'm going to be throwing away or giving away. Actually, I should give them away because obviously they're like literally came straight out of my closet. I just needed room to put all the clothes I did laundry for today. So that's what that's about. And I was also going to talk about the part two of this hairstyle. I kind of combed it out and made it like into this big hair thing, but I slicked it back for the second thing. The reason of what I'm going to talk to you guys about now, which is the book club I just came from, a book reading. So I was invited to a reading of Lean In. So it was a discussion group, right? This woman, Barbara Cass, contacted me. She has a food co-op cooking show. And after I did my story, I did a story for Radio Ricky's recently on me getting my citizenship, and she had heard that story when it aired on NPR and had asked me, to maybe one day come on her show. Just reached out to me, and then we became Facebook friends. And then she invited me to her home for this discussion on Lean In. So once I got the invite, I downloaded the book and was reading it, and that was what my second video blog was about. Was just like me in the middle of reading it and being into it. Well, today was the reading, and so I slicked my hair back because I was just like, I don't know what I'm walking into. I don't want to scare them with a big, big hair. Barbara is white. I mentioned that before, and I just didn't know who was gonna be there, what was gonna be the demographic. So first, I mean, my full disclaimer is that I don't think that any of the women that were there would have a problem with anything I'm about to say. I think that they were all pretty down to earth, cool women. That I would definitely go have drinks with any night of the day. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed the company of these women. They were all dynamic. They were all either in some form or they were all professional women, right? In some capacity or another. All of them had kids. So two of them didn't. I took a mini survey of the room. Besides me, there were two other women that didn't have kids, and all of them were between the ages of. So most of them were in their late 50s, late 40s. Like, that was the range. And I do remember one of them. So that there were two younger side women that were also there, that they said they graduated in 91 from college. How old are you when you graduate from college? 23. So let's do the math. 91. My brother is born 1993. He's 20, right? Yeah, so it's 2013. So 91 will be 22 years from now. 22 plus, let's say you're 21 when you graduate. So 41, 42. Okay. So I would say the younger women were in their early 40s, but most of the women were in their late 40s. No, I would say most of the women were in their early 50s, late, and now there were about maybe 30 women in the room. Yeah, about 30, maybe 20 to 30 women. So, and all of them are white women. So, I mean, as I expected, I guess. I'm very comfortable in being public radio. I'm pretty comfortable being in that demographic of people, and so that was a little jab. My bad. And it was just so interesting to be around women that have all made this decision to either lean into their careers or lean into their families. And there was one woman in particular that was definitely she was a CEO of, I'm not gonna name names or give any kind of descriptive details of any of the women, but she was definitely a CEO of a company. She was definitely the Sheryl, of her industry. And it was just so interesting to be around women that are breadwinners and that don't have to struggle in the way that I think a lot of the women of color are always talking about struggling. Does that make sense? Like these women definitely, and it was the woman that was in her earlier side of things, just actually talked about that. Talked about being, I don't want to say privileged, but like not having to worry about the financial future, and like um and like getting to the point where she just like, wow, she wished somebody had told her about, she appreciated the book because she wished somebody had told her about fighting for your career, because she was always comfortable and never had to think about like building up to a certain level. um so many things happen. I feel like I have to do a part two to this because I really want to get into the notes that I took. I also have a few blog ideas that are definitely going to come out of this. um but I guess today I will just talk about my impression of being around an all white, all women, older women crowd, to hear them kind of talk about their journeys to the careers that they've gotten and other achievements that they have done. That was like such a experience. I definitely would never have met those women otherwise. And then also just to be in this beautiful apartment in Crown Heights, right? That's very, I mean, it's like in the same block. She lives on the same block as I do, but just on the other side. And so it's like, it's almost like definitely stepping into another world. It's like you're in this parallel universe. Almost. And I felt like I walked into her building, I went upstairs, and like I was meeting all these people I never would have met. And we definitely live in the same neighborhood. But again, it's like the same neighborhood, but portal into like this other world. And so this is definitely an experience. She said that she invited me because I definitely looked like a young woman that was very driven and very like focused on my career. And as a reflection of that, I feel like even though I know what I love to do, I don't know how I'm gonna get paid to do it yet. So it's definitely eye opener for me, like the way that I'm perceived. One of the stories that the women brought up there in relation to Lean In, obviously, was, I guess there was a Dove commercial where women were asked. So there was like an FBI sketch artist, and women were asked to describe themselves, and then um, so the sketch artist drew them, and then women were also, then someone else, a stranger, came in and described the same woman, and the two drawings were totally different. So this the way that that you see yourself and how others see you. And in the book Lean In, they talk about that a lot, that women don't necessarily highlight their best attributes. They're always kind of like very self-deprecating, and usually we tend to highlight each other. So even in the beginning, when we all were going around the room saying what we did, Barbara, who was the host, was kind of like doing the whole intro thing, but then after that she kind of gave you opportunity to kind of highlight anything she missed, especially since she didn't really know all the people in the room, which was pretty cool. Like, props to her. Like, I was so impressed by this woman. So yeah, and most of the women, like, they would say something and they would never say like the biggest thing. So like there were some filmmakers in the room or some journalists, and it would take their friend that they came with to be like, oh yeah, and you guys will probably know this movie that she did. These women were all amazing, let me tell you. Like, definitely I could name drop right now. Like, I was definitely impressed by just the caliber of women in the room. um I don't even know what my question of the day is. I just kind of feel like I'm so inspired. I wish that I want to create a forum to kind of like get this room of women in with other women. I didn't really bring up race too much in this discussion of the book because I was just kind of like listening, and I feel like I played the role of the young girl in the room, not the black girl, which is fine to be the young girl. But and I don't even know if they saw me as the black girl in the room. I mean, I know obviously I'm black, but I don't think they saw me as a black girl in the room. I think they definitely kept referring to me as like the young girl. And I don't know whether that's because they don't think about race, which, I guess I wasn't really thinking about race either. There was one time, my whole thing with the book was the whole marriage thing, and just like like all of them were married, and they talked a lot about the whole 50-50 thing. How do you get your husband to do that? And like definitely got the sense that they, especially the woman that I was just I talked about with like the CEO, she said she got married really young, 24, and how she felt like, you know, the whole 7-year plan of when she went to have kids, like she talked a lot about that trajectory after she got married. And I just was just like, I'm like 27. Don't even know who like I'm going out with on Friday night, let alone who I'm marrying. So, so that like, and is that racial? Is that a racial thing? Definitely I think in New York City, I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but you know, anyway, we're not gonna get into black women and marriage and dating and the differences, but I mean, those numbers are real, although they're not, right? They're, anyway, let's not talk about that. Let's stay on positive things, which I feel like I'm talking too fast, but that's because it's already 11 minutes and I still have so much to say. So I'll just end it here. Tomorrow I'll definitely be talking about this again after like decompressing, looking over my notes, and maybe possibly writing in the morning and thinking a lot about this. But I'll just leave it with, have you guys ever been in a space you just know you never would normally be in? Because that's how I felt. Up until the last second, I almost didn't want to leave the woman's house, but I know I definitely had to. I got some artichoke. Oh, my bag is over there, and I don't want to have to get up and then have to sit back down. But yeah, it was. She's a cook, so the food was so good. It was good, and like different. Like I love butternut squash, and so it was like butternut squash casserole. Like what? Tonight was a good night. In the whole, especially, I think I should like go back to school and be a social scientist of some kind, because I just always so thrive in being in environments that is so different than my norm. It's not even funny. So yeah, so that's my question of the night, I should say, right? Because it is now 10:49. Um, have you ever been in a room of that, you know, you not even, I feel like I belong in every space. So I wouldn't even say a space that you feel like you don't belong in, but a space that you just normally would not be in, or you just know you never would have met X amount these people any other kind of way. And how did you tackle that? Mine was definitely, I feel like I thrived. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now because now it's 12:30, and we'll get into my hair issues tomorrow. I am definitely gonna start wearing it natural. That was supposed to be the announcement, that I'm gonna start wearing my hair out naturally after this hairstyle runs its course. Um, but anyway, that is for another day. Have a good night, guys, and be inspired.